What is up, Moral Dilemma Nation? I just came up with that.
Whoa. I like it.
That was kind of nice.
We went from a small state to a nation.
Yeah, well, we're actually worldwide now. But welcome to Moral Dilemma, our podcast, everyone's favorite podcast ever. My name's Ryan.
My name's Eric.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Logan.
And we are
Moral Dilemma.
Boy.
There goes another 3 subscribers.
Yeah. So, yeah, welcome back to another episode. We love doing these. So we're also very glad because in the last episode, as you might know, we had a special guest, Dan. So thank you, Dan, for listening to this, for coming on. It was a pleasure. It was an honor for you to bless us with your presence. But we're so glad to have Seabear back.
Seabass.
It's good to be back.
Word on the street is that something crazy went down last week. Spoiler alert, Corey doesn't have a girlfriend anymore.
Oh, sorry, man.
Do you want to fill us in on some details on why you no longer have a girlfriend?
All right. So Ryan says I don't have a girlfriend because I'm now engaged. So I have a fiance.
Ooh.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks.
Congratulations, boss.
She beat me to the punch.
Yeah. Sorry, bud. Yeah, but I actually got engaged last week down in Georgia. We were on our way on vacation. I was in Savannah, and it was actually
Savannah?
what?
No.
No. Okay,
No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But there are good peaches in Georgia.
There are good peaches in Georgia.
And a
that's
Bigfoot
fact.
museum.
There is a Bigfoot museum too. I didn't see the Bigfoot museum.
You saw something better.
I did.
Can you tell a story?
Yeah, sorry guys.
All right, I'll stop.
Okay, anyways, so it's actually kind of funny because I had this whole plan for how I was going to propose, and none of it ended up panning out.
What was your...
Yeah, tell us your plan first.
Okay, so my now fiance loves lighthouses. Loves lighthouses. And there's this island right off of Savannah called, it's either Tibby or Tybee Island. I've heard people say it different ways, so whichever way you want to call it.
I call it Tibby.
That. Okay, I've always called it Tibby Island, but...
Tibby.
Okay. Well, anyways, there's a big lighthouse on the island, and it's public, so, like, you can go up and climb to the top and take pictures and whatever. So my whole plan was, like, to propose at the top of this lighthouse. So I was like, this is going to be awesome because it's nice out, and she had no idea that was coming. So we get to the lighthouse, and because of COVID-19...
Oh, come on, COVID.
Yeah, don't even get me started. They, instead of having, like, an open lighthouse experience, I don't know what else you call it.
Lighthouse experience.
The lighthouse experience. They were only taking groups, like small groups up the lighthouse at 6 different times throughout the day, and it wasn't posted anywhere until you showed up.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you weren't there to buy tickets, like, they sold out first thing in the morning, and then that was, like, sold out for the whole day. So that, like, scrapped my whole idea. So then I'm just, like, my mind was, like, reeling, like, what am I going to do now? So we just, like, we walked the beaches, like, right nearby the lighthouse, and we walked over there, but it was actually really cool because they had, all along the beach there, they had these, like, permanent swing sets they put in, like the big, kind of like a porch swing. Yeah. But they had them right along the beach, so that was really cool. So we were just, like, talking, and we were actually sitting on the swing set, and then I proposed there.
Oh, man.
Cool.
So,
Did you drop down to one knee?
yeah, for sure. I'm old-fashioned like that.
Yeah.
I had to.
Did you ask your parents before you popped the
Yes,
question?
I did ask her parents.
How'd that
actually.
go down?
Good boy.
That actually,
They said no.
I was more nervous about asking her dad than I was about asking her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, once I got through that part, that was
Did you make
easy.
sure there weren't any guns nearby? Or
Yeah.
any weapons of
Just
any
take some
kind?
out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny to, like, to pat down to the dad and just make sure that there's... Are you okay?
Before we
You know?
start,
Yeah.
before we start this conversation,
Yeah. Go give you a little pat down.
yeah. But obviously, she said yes. So
Awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Congratulations.
That's good.
Yeah.
We didn't
Man,
really
sure.
clarify that before we
Yeah.
started talking
I was
about it.
getting nervous.
Yeah, because she could have said no and just left you.
Oh yeah, I my uncle actually asked me about that afterwards. He said, "What are you going to do if you said no?" And I said, "She's going to pay for a bus to get
Well,
home."
well, because you guys were on vacation for
It was
a
our
week.
first 2 days. So like
A
we were on
week-long
vacation for like 9 days actually. So if she had said no, that would have been a long vacation.
Man,
It's kind of odd.
That would have been awful.
that was risky.
Oh man.
So how was your nerves like the whole day leading up to that? Like, were you pretty calm,
I
cool,
wa-
collected?
I was
or
pretty
did you
calm because I had like thought and prayed about it a lot.
Yeah.
So it was like
I like the key word you added there, prayed.
yeah.
You
So
were
I
incredible.
felt like I was ready.
Yeah.
You know, asking her dad, I don't get nervous about anything, but like asking her dad, I thought I was gonna throw up. I did. I was so nervous.
Well, that's like one of the questions that that's one of the moments that a lot of guys just kind of fear.
Yeah.
Like even now, like when I want to get proposed eventually, maybe. Any takers out there? I'm already scared about that conversation.
Maybe it's our Denmark listener.
Yeah, so my sweet girl in Denmark, if you want to hit me up, I'm open.
My sweet Denmark woman.
Oh.
Well, Corey now has experienced something that just me and him have
Yeah,
actually
okay,
done.
yeah.
So
And
Single
sound
sound.
guy.
yeah.
You don't know about my past.
Ryan's actually asked my dad for my hand in marriage like 7 times.
Oh well, that's another conversation.
Don't worry, we're traditional. He said that.
So how far in advance did you ask her dad before you asked her? For the
Probably.
young bachelorettes out there.
I would say maybe like 2-3 weeks.
Oh, okay. I was under
Not
the
like-
impression this was like back to back.
Well,
Like you call the dad and you're like, okay,
Well,
thank you. And
got
then you
the
get on
green
the
light.
phone,
Let's
like,
go
will you
time.
marry me?
I kind of had my plan to do it on vacation anyways.
Yeah.
But like I wasn't sure how much in that time frame because I'm in school still right now.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how much I would see them. And I had a good opportunity because they were moving and I was helping her dad move furniture. So it kind of like set me up for that
Yeah.
to have like alone time to talk about it.
Face to
sweet.
face.
Yeah.
Respect.
How long ago did you buy the ring before this? I feel like it was because I remember when you told me about it.
It was about the same time frame.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
general time frame. I
Yeah.
would say it was like a month ago.
Now, did she pick out the ring?
She gave me a lot of ideas a long time ago, but I did it all by myself. So I actually I had it made. So
Like
I didn't just
custom made?
So I didn't just
Oh,
have it
man.
I didn't just go shopping for it. I had a couple ideas and then talked to the goldsmith about it and they made
That's
it.
probably better than me. I got mine out of the Cracker Jack box.
I love that.
What? Are you serious?
That would be great. I would freaking love that. If someone proposed to me with a Cracker Jack ring, I would be all
I
in.
always
Hey,
wonder
not
why.
anymore. You're taking.
Not anymore. I'm taking that.
I always wonder why Shelly walked around with a piece of cardboard around her finger.
Hey,
A ring
whatever.
pop.
Saved us a lot of money in the end. So it really
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, speaking of news,
News, yeah. So we just covered the best news possible because I'm proud of my boy Corey. Lots been leading up to this. I've been with Corey since day
-1.
I still don't
Not
even
day
know
one.
if she's really real. I've just seen pictures, but I haven't seen her in the flesh.
That's true.
Well, I'm
So
sure.
I need to verify
I'm sure the
this.
time will come, Eric.
Yeah.
Patience.
Are you gonna let me do your marriage counseling? Did
I was
you ask
yeah,
her?
I was planning on it.
Awesome.
Hey.
Wow.
Cool.
If anyone out there is looking for marriage counseling, like my sweet Denmark girl,
And hey,
we're
I've
going
started doing it through Zoom. That's interesting
oh, that's cool. Yeah.
because of this whole coronavirus. So.
I'd prefer to do it in person. if
Oh, that's fine. Well, you know the lighthouse situation.
Just messes everything up.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Corey.
Yeah.
Now we are going to be talking about something completely different, maybe even polar opposites. Some big news has been going on around recently about the next gen of gaming,
Ooh.
specifically the PlayStation 5 and the what'd you say was the Xbox
It's-
One Series X?
Yes.
What a long name.
Yeah.
So
What happened to when we all aspired it for it to be like 360,
The
720,
Xbox
1080.
1080?
Well, that's now you mentioned that, wasn't it? What's that movie that had Hugh Jackman in it? It was a robot.
Real Steel.
Yeah,
and they
Real
had the
Steel.
advertisement
They actually
for it.
advertised.
Oh,
Xbox
yeah, yeah,
720.
yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
And I was like, why didn't they just keep that? Because it was
That would
kind
have
of
been
a cool
so
name.
cool,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense though, because like
Well, part
I
of
feel
what
like the whole 360 thing was getting a little dated. Just like
yeah.
that.
I don't understand the reason
not
it
a
was
sleek.
360. Was it just because the circle on the front was the 360?
No,
circle?
basically it's all about marketing, and because the PlayStation 3 was coming out, they wanted to match that 3.
Oh,
so they
yeah.
were like, how can we make it seem like it's Xbox?
Oh.
So we'll call it, instead of just calling
Hey, I
it
didn't know
Xbox
that.
3, because we'd actually be skipping a generation.
Yeah.
We'll call it Xbox 360, and that kind of makes it seem like
Yeah.
it's the same level as PlayStation.
I always thought because they had that stereotypical circle logo
Yeah.
for the X.
Yeah, that would make sense, but
Yeah.
apparently not.
No.
Because now it's called the Series X. But, so yeah, a lot of details have come out about the Xbox One Series X.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call it the XSX.
Well, and the reason why is because
I'll
there's
refer to it as the
there's
Xbox.
the Xbox One, and then there's the Xbox X, which I have recently got. It's got better processor and everything, but this newest Xbox Series X is coming out soon, and it's got one of the biggest things that they talk about with that. It's got 12 teraflops.
Yeah.
Which is basically how many calculations of little
Yeah.
triangles that they can create
That's
at one
crazy.
time.
Yeah.
So there's, and basically the interesting thing with Xbox and their approach for the new system is to make sure everything is working on whatever platform you choose. So, like if you're still an Xbox One owner, you can still play a new game that comes out like Halo.
But upgraded.
Yes.
For
And so if you get an Xbox X later on or the Series X, it'll update its graphics automatically. You won't have to do anything. You don't download anything differently. It knows what system you're playing on, and it'll match you with the right download to download.
It's kind of like forward compatibility instead of backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
super cool.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
kinda
called
more-
smart delivery.
Yeah, smart delivery.
I've been doing research on this because I'm intrigued. But I know Corey and Logan don't know as much.
Yeah, see, I didn't
I
know.
have
but
some opinions.
I want to know your thoughts on the looks of it because
have you seen the both looks?
I
of-
have seen both looks. And
Go ahead, Corey.
okay, I just want to say the thing I really find interesting about all of the new PS5 looks, it kind of reminds me of if I went back to when I had my PlayStation 1, what I thought futuristic game consoles would look like.
Yeah.
It actually, just from a pure look standpoint, it kind of looks futuristic-ish to me, which I kind of find cool.
yeah.
I also have seen how they have the disc compatibility, and
Yeah.
then they have one that's entirely
Which I think's really
non-
cool.
Yeah,
Which I
there's
really,
one that's
I
an
really
all
like that.
digital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
then
the difference is that the one that's all digital, the one that has the disc is more bowed out.
Yeah.
So it looks.
It's
the
definitely
the
less
one that's all
proportioned.
digital is actually more sleeker looking.
yeah.
Which almost makes me think they're trying to encourage people to get that.
I think so too, and I think it's going to be, of course, the cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, and you might know about this, Ryan, but I don't. I don't know a lot. I heard something yesterday about how they had talked about specs for some kind of cartridges
Really?
for the PS5, but I didn't know what that was, and I thought you might.
Well, I know the Xbox, the new Xbox is going to have upgradable storage, right?
Yeah, it's going to
in
be
the form of cartridges.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is Xbox. What they're doing. What PS5 is going to do is they're going to have a nice hard drive, and that's
SSD actually.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest newest features with the PS5 is that their hard drive is going to be almost instantaneous downloading and uploading of information.
It's crazy.
So what you see on the screen, one of the best examples of this, I know I'm not quite answering your question just yet, but one of the cool things is, how if you play the game Spider-Man and you've got to go in the train, you're kind of waiting for that next thing to load, instantaneous.
Yeah.
In other words, the biggest thing that's going to help developers with the PS5 and its hard drive is that it's going to be able to. It doesn't have to have all this extra data. What's Call of Duty up to now? Full 500 gigabytes.
It's literally. I think it's 200.
It's
almost,
265.
which is half of what the OG Xbox comes with.
But
or
in
PlayStation
the
comes with.
games that are developed, there are so many things that people don't realize that are taking up space because you've got to reload everything back in to create the next scene. Well, with this hard drive, it's speeding up so fast that it's actually going to go. It's going to jump you right into the next thing. There's a game called Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
that's
I was
coming
just about to
out,
mention that. Yeah.
and it's the best demo of the new hard
for
drive
sure.
because it jumps from world to world in an instant.
Immediately.
You go from
It's like rifts in
planet,
time.
yes,
And you use this portal, almost like the game Portal, but instead of just going to different part of the map, you go to a whole new fully featured map. It's insane.
Yeah. So one, it's going to reduce the download size of these games because they're not going to have to reduplicate certain things in a game because it'll all be on the hard drive because they can access it quickly.
Yeah.
They don't have to create buffers.
Yeah.
So when you open the door, one of the things in Resident Evil, in the first Resident Evil game.
Skyrim too.
Yeah, Skyrim.
Yeah.
Any of those games,
Yeah.
you'd have to open a door and the door's moving really slow.
And sometimes it goes to a loading screen.
Exactly.
So
those are going to cut, and Destiny, go into a different part of the tower. You're stuck in loading mode, and all those things are going to should be minimal.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about the PS5, it's actually going to have an extra bay but you have to have the hard drive match the same specs as the hard drive that's going to be the solid state drive.
Oh, okay.
That will be you can
Yeah.
upgrade it that way.
Because PlayStation, I was reading about this. PlayStation's SSD is like a brand new, like they like made their own kind. Like it's a brand new technology to them. Xbox, the new Xbox has an SSD, but it's not their own design as far as as far as I know. But another thing to note is that the Xbox is going to have a bigger storage. Like I think Xbox is a terabyte,
Yeah.
but PlayStation's
It's some weird number of
850.
850.
But PlayStation was saying that it's their SSD and their design, even though it has less space, it's going to be a lot more flexible for developers and a lot more, which is kind of cool because I watched this big old nerdy thing, and it sounds like PlayStation is really focusing on like the next generation, which is kind of to do with their super futuristic design. I mean, obviously Xbox is doing that too, but even with like the hardware in the PlayStation, it's all about flexibility and opening doors for people who make games and like all these different possibilities. So like at face value, if you're like looking at numbers and stuff, the Xbox Series X has more horsepower, more raw power. And the PlayStation 5 has a little bit less, but I think that the way that the PlayStation's designed and the different things that they put in there is just going to make it overall more flexible and
so like we mentioned about the Xbox Series X is going to have 12 teraflops. The PlayStation 5 is going to have 10 teraflops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just going to be a little bit less in power, but I think their application, a lot of things
Yeah.
that they're going to be doing with the PS5, it's still going to be a great system. I
Uh-huh,
mean, both
for
these
sure.
are going to be
I mean they're going to
like
pretty
four
much
times what their current generation is doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And like Xbox One, it's going to have the power of the original Xbox One. It's going to be 8 times more powerful.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of cool. You will be able to take your hard drive if you have an external hard drive for your PS4 now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play your old PS4 games, you can take that external hard drive and plug it right into your
Mm-hmm.
PS5. Same way with Xbox. Xbox really is trying to go for the idea that wherever you play on whatever Xbox
Yeah.
One or Xbox
Yeah.
X or whatever, that you can play your game. It's not going to maybe the better hardware you have, the better performance
Yeah.
you're going to have,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll still be able to play your game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. That's what I've kind of done. I've taken my old Xbox One and put it in my living room,
Mm-hmm.
so I have that. But I have my Xbox One X
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
my family room. So
Yeah. Which kind of makes me, and I know some other people on the internet have been wondering this too. Since this new Xbox is focusing a lot on being able to take like any Xbox One game and play it on the Xbox Series X in the same way, do you think that's going to limit like the
well, I think
what it's capable of? Like I feel like it might be holding back to
Well,
make that possible at first.
I don't know
at
if it'll hinder as far as making games possible. But to your point that maybe somebody's just satisfied playing on the Xbox. You know,
Yeah.
PlayStation is going to be having a lot of exclusives, which
Oh,
they have
yeah.
a lot of great
Oh.
developers
Yeah.
that are going to show you what the PS5 can really do.
Mm-hmm.
With it being available on Xbox One and Xbox One X,
Mm-hmm.
there might be some people to be like, I'll just play it
Yeah,
on my
exactly.
Xbox.
Mhm.
Why do I need to upgrade? I think we're going to see that both these consoles are going to be pretty pricey when they come out.
Oh yeah.
I think that the reason why, and Xbox is they haven't announced it yet, but they're going to
Yeah.
a thing called the Law Cart.
Yeah.
that is
Lockhart.
supposed
Yeah.
to be
A cheaper.
version of it, whether it's
And
less
smaller.
powerful or yeah.
Both of these consoles physically are
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, and Xbox is okay, but it's just like a big
Yeah.
rectangle
See-
box.
see,
I was going
It
to
looks
get
like
about
a
the
PC.
look of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I initially saw it, and like
Which
I
one,
said,
the PlayStation or the Xbox?
I'll talk about both.
Okay.
But I looked up a few of the specs, but you guys did a good job covering pretty much the roots of it.
Thanks, I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
No, I'm a big tech YouTuber.
Yeah.
I'm
Follow
not,
Logan's YouTube
I'm
channel.
not the YouTuber, but I love to watch like the Marquez Brown and like
Yeah.
Austin Evans, stuff like that.
Your average consumer.
Yeah. So initially, it was funny. Sunday, Tyler Cunningham comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you see this thing on Facebook?" And it was someone who photoshopped the PS5 into a bunch of different things, and
Oh,
people
yeah.
like recreating it. It's like
Which is free marketing for
a
PS5.
white
might I add.
a white binder with like a TV remote in the middle of it.
Yeah.
They edit it to be like Doug Dimmadome's hat from Fairly Odd Parents. But I personally like the PS5 look. The Xbox One X or whatever it's called, the
Series
Xbox.
X. Just called Series X,
Series
yeah.
X.
I think that it does They both give off mad like PC vibes.
Oh
to me.
yeah, well I think that's what
They
they're
look
kinda
a
going
lot
for.
like standalone desktop PCs to me, which I think that they both are trying to get out of the realm of people viewing console as something inferior to a
Yeah.
PC.
Something
Which is
limiting.
why I think that this new design factor, the dehumidifier of the Xbox, and then the Wi-Fi router look of the PS5.
Yep.
I like the PS5. I was getting a little tired of consoles playing it safe. I like how
Yeah, they made
I
it,
really
they made
like
a big
the-
decision.
PCs are always so cool about that flare factor of like that alien look. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna
Well-
say when the PS5 like what it looked like came out, it looked to me like one of those Alienware computers, like
Yes.
the
Unique.
unique, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like that it's white, which
Well, I'm sure there are going to be all kinds of different
oh for sure,
versions.
yeah. Which I mean, not liking something for its whites right now.
Yeah.
That it's white right now is kind of a
Yeah.
normal thing.
But I think that we'll see different variations
Oh yeah,
of that.
which
But
is going to be cool.
But I think the light inside of it really
Yeah.
is cool, where
Yeah.
you see the blue and even the Xbox at the top of it has.
If I'm being honest, I would prefer the Xbox look over the PS5.
Really,
Really.
I think the way my room's set up.
yeah, it is really minimalist.
The way
yeah.
my room's set up, I have a very minimalistic setup, and I have I go for black, like aesthetics in my room, kind of. And the Xbox would look really cool.
Yeah.
I wonder, are people gonna put it on the floor?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't put their PCs on the floor.
Both these.
But I'm
these-
thinking of desktop PCs. Some people put on the floor
Sorry.
as
Yeah.
far as like it kind of looks like a little tiny like subwoofer for like
Yeah,
a sound.
it's
setup.
very
Yeah.
very sleek. Which I mean, for some people that's cool, but I mean, at the end of the day, I honestly don't really care at all what they look like. I mean, obviously it's a factor, but
I agree.
I just want
I
to
agree.
get the game or the console that plays the games I want and runs them well.
So you're gonna buy the PS5?
So I'm gonna get the PS5 for sure
Eric's?
because
Oh, I'll
I
probably buy
think-
both eventually.
oh
but
yeah,
I'll get
Eric
PS5
will get both,
first.
Yeah,
But, another thing that's interesting that we don't know much detail about it, but they tried to show us a little bit about it, is PS5 is working on what's called 3D audio.
yeah,
And it's interesting because they're trying to figure out, because the year is such an integral thing as far as how, each year is formed differently and how you receive sound and everything, but to create a unique experience so that it'll be nothing like we've ever experienced before. Seeing that in games,
Yeah.
I mean, with the VR headset too, that'll be interesting to see how they play that. But they've mentioned that quite a bit, so it'll be interesting to see if it's just a gimmick or if it's something that will really translate into something
sure.
revolutionary.
yeah.
That's what I think. I think that's interesting about the PlayStation 5 is that they're not, power is a big thing and it will be powerful, but they're also looking at ways to make it better.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be good. Now the controllers,
Yeah.
the look of the controller is kind of unique with the PlayStation. They're adding a lot of new features, like it'll even have a mic in it to where you don't even have to wear a headset per se. I'm not sure how that's going to work
Yeah, that might sound a little
with
sketchy.
other noises, but Xbox they basically kept it the same except adding an option button like
Which I mean, in
or
their
share
defense, I think I prefer the Xbox One controller any day just because of how it feels. But
I wonder. Sorry to interrupt you. I wonder if they messed themselves up by releasing so many different colors and styles of the Xbox controller, to where they feel like they can't do something revolutionary like change the
no, I
complete
think
layout
that
of a controller.
their customers are so like down with it. I mean, like it's
I think-
it's a good controller.
I think Xbox or Microsoft is taking the approach. We don't care where you play because eventually every company is developing, just like PlayStation now, where you have that remote play.
yeah.
Not very many people probably use that, but it is a futuristic feature that you can have your console wherever,
Yeah.
and then you can log on to it, you can play it on it. Eventually, everything's going to be in the cloud. I don't know if you guys have tried Google Stadia, but it is kind of neat to just there's a computer somewhere in the
Play
world
in your browser,
and you're
yeah.
playing in your browser, which is kind of disappointing with Google Stadia because it's not working. It's only working on Google phones, and
Yeah.
it's kind of limited with a browser that you got
And
to
you gotta
use.
have pretty good internet.
Yeah, you do have to have a really good internet.
Takes us out of the race.
Yeah, I know.
So it's really neat. I just love technology. So
Yeah.
I just love learning about these things and seeing.
Well, that's what this podcast is all about.
because
Sorry, keep going.
well, I was just going to say that whatever comes out is going to define, the new technology is going to define the next 5 to 10 years. So that's kind of interesting.
Corey, which one would you buy?
I think I'd have to stick with the PS5. I like the original, the PlayStation original games best. I just think I hate how they do that now because I think they kind of went back and forth. Like a long time ago when the 360 came out, like Xbox kind of did that a little bit and limited. And I do like that things are starting to become cross-compatible a little bit.
Yes.
I don't know how they're going to integrate that with these new systems.
Apex is coming out with cross-compatible.
But I just like games like The Last of Us. I love that game.
Second one's all right.
Yeah, but just Uncharted. I really liked Horizon Zero Dawn.
God of War.
Also, I'm going to add real quick that any console that has the potential to just maybe have a Sly Cooper remake, I'm going to buy that console.
Did you guys all play the Spider-Man game?
Yeah, that's another
Miles
Morales.
Miles Morales' story is coming out this fall on the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be that's going to be a console seller right there.
Oh yeah.
But I do think that PlayStation has more, because I have both, and I like Xbox Game Pass. It's really neat because you're able to get right in, especially the first party games like Halo Infinite. I'll be able to just get that right away.
Oh really?
So as soon as it comes out, like I had Gears of War 5. So I had that immediately with Game Pass. So that's an interesting too. It's more of like a subscription base. You see that with PlayStation Now, but it's just interesting how the future is going to unfold with all those consoles.
It's exciting. All right, well,
he's getting choked up.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone cared about all that. I definitely do.
I do.
And maybe that was a little guide for someone who's like trying to decide which one to get to
help me out a little
buy.
bit. I hadn't done that in depth of the specs yet. So.
But I mean, both are going to be great. Both are going to be 4K. Both are going to probably run 60 frames 4K.
It's really just a lot of times it comes down to preference.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's mainly up to which games you want to play because there are a lot of exclusives to each console. I think PS5 right now is announced more, but I think Xbox has one coming out in July.
Yeah, there's going to be a press conference. Because
I mean, Halo's on Xbox, and that's a game breaker for a lot of people. So, that's the tea.
Which has been kind of disappointing over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like with the Master Chief Collection, which is greatly improved, but
when it launched, I remember I waited in line at the mall for that, and stayed up all night to install it because my internet was awful. Got online and the servers didn't work.
Yeah. And
then I think I just ended up selling it because I went 3 weeks and I couldn't play multiplayer.
But I do commend Microsoft for committing to it because they've definitely improved it over the time. It was terrible when it first released.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
All
right. Well, let's move on because some people don't care about this stuff, but everyone cares about working out. which is a new development in my life is that I've been going to the gym. Still don't like it, but we're going to talk about songs that get us juiced in the gym, songs that get us pumped up, songs that just make us mad in just the right ways. So we're going to talk workout songs. This could be for running, or jogging, or swimming, or lifting some iron,
powerlifting,
or boxing, or horse riding, dog racing. Dog training, anything to do with dogs is kind of a sport. So, Logan, why don't you kick us off because you're the big gym guy here.
Well, yeah, when I go to dog racing competitions, a few playlists I bring up. I have a few for y'all. I'm big on. I guess I can just shout out the gym I go to, Ellenwood Extreme Fitness.
Sponsor?
Not a sponsor. Should be.
Yet. I don't think it's sponsor us.
But the nerds. No, Bob would.
Hey, nerds need to go to the gym too.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
Tiger Balm.
Yeah. So the way that gym's set up is the sound in the whole gym is first come first serve. It's really kind of hardcore.
Just like an aux cord you get to.
So I like to keep my music. I'm big heavy metal in the gym. Like, it's gotta be like, they gotta be screaming at me. Like,
except for LNTR.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, fun fact, whenever I do anything cardio or sit-ups, I listen to the Lord of the Rings soundtracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dead serious.
Wow.
Ask Adam.
It's inspiration.
But when I'm doing any heavy lifting, I listen to a lot of heavy metal, but I try my very best to keep it clean. So I like to not be the guy who's got a bunch of crap playing on there when there's other people in the gym. Anyway, a few that I've been listening to a lot is a band called Theocracy. They're hardcore. Like, I mean, I won't get into specifics. Like when I listen to the gym, I listen to it very passively. It's just got to have this like very up to beat tempo in it.
What time is that? Like, what time do you like? You know, like what's the rhythm time and drumming?
Man, I don't know. There's actually a bunch of, if you go on Spotify and search running music, there's a lot of people who like to run to a certain BPM.
Yeah.
And you can find a whole playlist of songs at the same tempo to where you can pace yourself.
That's cool.
I'm not like that.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't matter to me. When it comes to heavy metal, a lot of it's slow downs. So it's like breakdowns and stuff. Theocracy is really good. I've listened to Project Aegis. That's Aegis. Aegis. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Not a sponsor. But those are really cool. And one that doesn't have, some songs are clean, but I've listened to Dragon Force a lot in the gym.
Yeah.
They're
Through the Fire and
not
Flames.
all of them are clean, so be careful with those. But
With your selection.
those three I have in a playlist right now. Well, one Dragon Force is just
Hey, we
Through the
can-
Fire and Flames.
I just thought we can take all of our songs we listen to and put it on a playlist and put it on Facebook for everyone to listen to.
Make a jam,
That'd be good.
make a Christian workout playlist.
It might be really weird for people because it's going to be some different genres, I bet. But
Yeah, those are heavy metal. Also, I love when I need a bigger playlist. Those bands don't have a lot of stuff. I usually just shuffle either 1,000 Foot Crutch Essentials or Red.
yeah.
So those are two good ones too. Those are more of like the full album. Red has a lot of slower, emotional, like altar calls vibe songs. So
Yeah.
some of those aren't very good in the gym, but a lot of it's good stuff.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes I feel pretty close to the Lord when I'm about to die in the gym.
It's a good time for you to do an altar call, isn't it?
Corey, what about you?
This is actually really hard for me because I don't usually make my own playlists for specifically like the gym or
Yeah.
working out or whatever. Actually, for a long period of time, I just kind of ripped off Ryan's playlists.
I got some good playlists.
Yeah, so I'd go to Ryan's Spotify and pick playlists, but I actually was looking through my phone and found one of my old gym playlists.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Boom Boom Pow? Question mark.
Is this your high school basketball days?
yeah,
Okay.
actually, but to be honest, I listened to a lot of Skillet back then.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like old school Skillet.
That's a go-to.
So not so much the more modern stuff.
Comatose?
Yeah. I
good
would
album.
listen.
That made me happy inside just hearing that name.
I Whispers in the Dark.
Good
I
grief.
loved-
Those violins get
I
you
just
going.
I just remember like literally having my giant like the first edition Beats headphones
Oh, dude.
in the
You
gym
are so
shooting
cool.
You already
threes.
know you look sick.
Oh, I know. And like my aunt bought them for me for as a Christmas present, and we went to Warren's. Our colors were royal blue and white, so mine were royal blue, and they matched like all of our travel gear and everything.
Didn't even listen to music on him. Just
No,
walked
I just
around.
walked around them.
Did you get pictures of that you can frame in your house?
I don't know if I have
should
any
do
pictures
that.
of that, but I wore those headphones until they broke. I mean, I wore those for such a long time. But I used to listen to the Comatose album, Shoot Basketball in the gym for hours.
Yeah.
I loved that. I also loved like Hero though and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Monster.
Yeah, Monster. I mean, actually, I was never like a huge fan of the song Monster itself. I think I just heard it so many times. The first time I heard
It wore you down?
it wore me down really fast. But I also like Savior. I love
yeah.
that one too.
Oh, that's a deep
so,
cut.
Yeah. So that would probably be my most. But I also now I just go to like Spotify and type in like Christian worship workout mix
Altar call
or
music.
something like that. And I'll just kind of shuffle now. I mean, if it's not up to the pace I want, I'll switch songs, and that's a good thing with like Spotify Premium and stuff. Is unlimited skips and stuff, so you can just kind of
Yeah.
do what you want.
So yeah, mine's weird because I.
Yeah, it is. I can second that for sure.
So on top of everything, I have a very wide taste in music, and I love music more than just about anything in the world. So
More than Jesus?
no, not Jesus, but it's not up there with Jesus, but it's above everything else. Under Jesus though, But when I listen to music, I kind of approach it the way some people would read a book. Like, I don't like to listen to music just, like, passively in the background because I just can't concentrate. I want to listen to music and, like, I want to hear the music. I want to hear everything about it. And the problem I have had with the gym in the past, because I've had a love-hate relationship with the gym, still do. But a lot of times, the songs I listen to in the gym, I can never listen to outside of the gym ever again. Because it just brings me back to the gym, and sometimes I had bad experiences. Like, I went through a running phase a while ago. I listened to, like, some of my favorite songs at the time, running, and then I'd listen to them later and be like, oh, I have bad memories of this song because I was running.
You were passing away.
Yeah, because I was dying inside. So the last few times we've been to the gym, me, Logan, and Adam go to Ellenwood pretty much every morning. It's a good time. I've been on Aux, but the playlist I play is just kind of throwaway songs that I feel like I've gotten everything out of. But I do focus on like heavier music. Been rocking a lot of Linkin Park.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love Linkin Park, and that gets me hyped. And it's also stuff that like I already have memories with that in like high school and stuff, playing Halo and everything. So like that's not gonna mess it up for me. So I love stuff like that. Like Corey said, Skillet, Red, The Essentials. I listen to some songs from the lead singer of Skillet's band. He kind of like made like a side project called Fight the Fury, which is heavy stuff. So that's really good. But yeah, just a lot of kind of mindless rock for me. Nothing super crazy. So, but Eric,
I'm kicking it old school.
I'm intrigued here.
Can I guess
So-
what yours would be?
Good. Sure.
Shoot. I shouldn't
Matrix
have said
soundtrack.
that because
That would be a good one.
A little Rob Zombie,
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Through the
not a
ditches
Christian
and-
artist.
is it Imagine Dragon?
No.
Dang it. Is
Thank
it
goodness.
NF?
No.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay. So mine's old school. Mine's Eye of the Tiger.
Oh,
That's like you're going.
you're dropping
He knew
you're
it.
dropping
I
one
knew it.
song.
Oh yeah, Eye of the Tiger. That always gets me going. I mean, great movie, but you know.
In
with
and out of the
Rocky-
gym.
Oh yeah. They're like, well, I think it's more preparing you to be in the gym.
Yeah,
And then if you're struggling, just play that,
yeah.
It just
and then it
builds.
gets
Yeah.
you going.
It just builds so well.
I feel
You know,
like-
I don't work out as much as I should nowadays, but back in the day when I was probably your guys' age, I really started. I was working out, lifting weights and
Yeah.
things like that, and
Oh, I bet, dude. I bet
so
you got
yeah, that was one song to kind of get me going. I'd run out in the street like, yeah, raise your arms like Rocky.
got kicked
it's
out of a
like-
lot of gyms.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have a gym. I had weights at home, so
Oh, okay.
I had weights in my garage. So workbench and
Eye of the
weights
Tiger.
and- yeah, Eye of the
See?
Tiger always get me going, get me started.
What year did that song come out?
Oh, it was,
That was 80 something,
no,
right?
that was in the
70s?
70s. It was like 77 or something.
Dang.
I don't know, but yeah. Of course, I think that song actually came out with Rocky 2. But it was
Okay.
yeah, it was a great song. It was a song to get you pumped up,
Yeah.
get you ready. There's a lot of songs I liked back then. AC/DC.
Oh, yeah.
Those type of songs kind of get you going. Back in Black, you know,
Oh yeah.
things like that. So yeah, Rocky, Eye of the Tiger,
Yeah.
great song.
So I have some a quick shout out
82.
from the
82 actually.
from our sound guy Adam. There is Day of War a song? Day of War.
Oh, this is Adam's song.
These are
He's
some
texting us.
Adam's shout. I asked Adam if he had a shout out because he's big. Adam's also
Yeah.
really big in the gym.
Adam's
So
got those gym songs.
and then you said Stellar Cart. That's also an
Okay.
She sings Day of War.
individual- Okay.
Oh, it's
yeah.
coming
So
together now. I know Stellar Cart.
those are some good ones. So I would just throw that out there.
Shout out.
We could add that to the playlist we all form. That's
Yeah.
gonna be a weird playlist.
Yeah, maybe we
Yeah.
should come out with different versions of it, like old school version. And
No, I think we should just combine everything.
I think we
Okay.
should
I
just
like
throw it all in there. 'Cause we're gonna just have Eye of the Tiger randomly in there. It's gonna be like just a
I
weird
have
mix.
10 different gym workouts.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's also a lot of good ones you can just search for. If you just want to search, like, I'm pretty sure if you just get on Spotify and search Christian workout, you got something. So,
yeah,
all right, well, that wraps it up. We're gonna cover real quick some TV stuff because we like TV, and we also like Netflix. So we're gonna talk about. I think was it last episode we talked about movies that surprised us that we
yes,
saw in theaters and stuff.
yes, movies and theaters.
We're gonna talk about some Netflix surprises. We're gonna just do TV shows for now. So these are TV shows that maybe we just like kind of accidentally turned on or didn't really think much of, and we just loved them.
Was
So,
better than what we thought.
Yeah, better than what we thought. Who wants to go first?
I can go.
Hit it.
I'm gonna throw a little twist in this,
Uh-oh.
but it's okay.
Uh-oh.
If I'm gonna
It's
talk
funny
about
how you say it's
surpri-
going to be okay.
It's
we
gonna be
don't
okay.
know.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Yeah. Well, this surprised me, but not in a good way.
Oh, a bad way, I guess.
I watched Space Force and was kind of disappointed. Not gonna lie.
I watched it.
So
I
you're
didn't even
thinking
try
more
it.
like Office.
Well, no, I didn't think it would be anything like The Office, but like I thought there were some funny episodes, but there out of the 10, I think there was maybe 2 that I can't forget because they're like really funny. But like I was just like, for as much as they hyped it up to be, it almost seemed like they wanted to find something to where they could get the Michael Scott vibes into Steve Carell again.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried it again, and it does give off mad vibes of how he was, like, kind of this, like, he's got this high position, but he's kind of stupid kind of thing. I mean, that's an awful way to describe it,
Yeah.
but, like, it wasn't too funny. I know we talked about, I'm not huge on TV series either, and I think that if you watch this passively, you won't be as disappointed. I kind of watched it, like, I sat down and, turned the lights off, and like I've talked about before, I got my little home theater kind of set up going, so I really, like, was focused in on it. Wasn't a huge fan, but if I'm watching it just kind of doing something else, just kind of in the background, there's a lot of filler stuff, which is what we talked about we don't like.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of filler stuff. There's a few good episodes, but I was surprised.
That was made by the
was,
people that made The Office, right?
I don't know.
It was.
Yeah.
Sound guy Adam saying yes.
So
It's a yes.
I wasn't a huge fan of it. Maybe second season will turn it around
So
for
maybe
it.
it was the problem where they tried to be like The Office instead of creating something new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
think
new approach.
it is a whole new approach, but the specific character in there, Steve Carell plays, is like very try hard to be Michael Scott again.
Okay.
So like that, like the concept is very different, but like him specifically is like too. You can just tell they're trying too hard. So I don't know.
I feel like that's the kind of show I would watch and watch half an episode and be like, I just want to watch The Office now. Just turn it
Yeah,
off.
it did. I forced myself to finish it though because I'm so bad about not finishing TV series. So
Yeah.
and I also wanted to get on track, like watch the TV series that come out now and like get ahead of it because I'm bad about like waiting till it's all over and with. And I'm like, oh, now I got 8 seasons I can watch in a row and not have to wait. So,
I feel that.
but
Yeah.
anyway, that's mine.
I'm just going to get mine out of the way real quick. Mine was a good surprise. Logan's was a bad surprise. Mine was a good surprise. Mine's The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, we've
It's
talked
a
about this a
Netflix
little bit.
original. What surprised me with it is I kind of didn't really like any Netflix originals before then. I mean, I liked Stranger Things, but I feel like that was kind of like an outlier for me. So a couple of my friends in school wanted to start watching the show, and I was like, yeah, fine. And I've watched like so many horror movies, and I'm like, it's just going to be another horror TV show. It's not going to scare me or anything. But man, it scared the crap out of me
It was
in just
really
the
scary.
right ways. It was so good. And I know we've been talking about filler episodes not being good. I feel like there was not a single episode that didn't give you information that wasn't vital to like
Not
the
many
main
episodes
narrative.
either, so that helped it
Yeah,
a lot. They had
yeah.
the storyline, like they're an hour episodes, and
I think
like
10 episodes.
10 episodes. No, I think only 8.
8.
I could be wrong, but it's short. But
I'll
like
look it up.
it was great. I watched that in a college setting with like everyone in my hall would come into my room and watch it, and that was a really good experience. There's some good jump scares in there,
Yeah.
and the whole hidden face thing.
Yeah, we've talked about this in I think it was episode 2.
Yeah,
or maybe 1.
I mentioned it as like some of my favorite horror.
But yeah, it's really
movie
good.
things.
Definitely not for kids, but if you're an adult looking for a good show that'll scare you, that's a good one. And I think other than like obviously the normal horror movie things, I think it's relatively like clean. Maybe
Yeah,
definitely do some research before you watch it. But yeah, it was a good show. Perfect length too. I love 10 episode TV series because I mean it's just a good length. It feels more like a movie series, than just like a TV show you kind of got to grind through. So that's mine.
Mine is Lock and Key on Netflix.
Still haven't seen that.
still haven't either.
I would recommend this for like maybe preteen and up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's like you said, not filler stuff.
Yeah.
Each episode kind of drives the story a little bit more. And if you don't know what Lock and Key is, it's about this mansion that has these magical keys or these keys that have certain powers. And I thought it was pretty good. It was actually better than I expected. Isabella, my daughter, wanted to watch it, so we started watching it. And yeah, we didn't have to push or like, oh, we're going to make our way through this. It was actually like we couldn't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, that's when you know. That's when you know that you found something good. It's like I had that when I watched My Hero Academia. I like.
I disagree.
Ye-
I love that show.
No, I meant like I like
Oh,
wanted to watch
okay.
like the next
Okay.
episode what came out, and I
I
was
thought you were
like,
saying.
I was thinking about it in class, like I want to go back and watch that next episode. Like that's when you know you found something good.
And I guess that speaks to another thing with Netflix and also Disney Plus, and I guess this little side topic, but I do think that releasing it once a week is kind of valuable
Yeah.
to a series because, you know, like us, it was easy to just watch the next episode of Lock and Key, and sometimes you miss the value of kind of digesting what you just
Yeah.
watched and kind of enjoying that experience. And I think I'm kind of weighing out what I like. Of course, once they're all released, you can go back and watch them all.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like taking it an episode at a time and kind
So Lock and Key released one episode at a time instead of all.
No,
of
no,
them?
no.
Okay.
That's
okay.
what I was just thinking. The difference between
Yeah.
Netflix approach
Yeah,
and
it's
Disney
definitely
Plus.
a weird choice, but I mean, I understand because if Netflix were to be releasing single episodes of all the originals, like
Yeah.
it'd be cluttered.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's
Well,
kind of nice to just like put
well,
them
think
all out
about
there. and
Stranger
just-
Things. How that would just build an appetite for people that would be.
Yeah.
It would give people the time to talk about it,
Uh-huh.
and then you don't have to worry about okay, everybody's talking about, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
all the episodes. They're binge watching it, and they already have all the information
Yeah.
on the internet.
Because back in the good old Walking Dead days, back when that was a good show, I remember me and my
Many years
dad
ago.
would watch an episode, and obviously that was released on like a week-to-week basis, and we'd watch the episode of The Walking Dead, and then after The Walking Dead, there was a live show talking about that episode. I thought that was so cool because
And see what I did with Lock and Key. I was like, we'll watch 2, and then we'll wait the next
Yeah.
day to watch it because I do like to watch. It's kind of sad you watch a whole show in a few days, and then you're like, you don't have nothing else to watch.
yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of fun to
Then
kind
you have an empty hole inside. Yeah, I
exactly.
don't know what to do.
So-
Hit us, Corey. Corey has a cool one that I didn't know about.
So I actually, like Ryan just said, I was just talking to Ryan and Eric about this show a
Season
little
3
bit
Kate
ago.
Nate Posade.
No,
Shout out to Kate, Nate, Kate,
Fuller House.
no.
John and Kate.
Not at all.
Let's go.
But actually, my fiance and I watched this show called Messiah. It's a Netflix original, and we found it by accident. Knew nothing about it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like it's about, Jesus or whatever." I thought it was going to be some kind of like historical Bible
Yeah.
show or something. I was just like, but then I like read the premise, and I was like, that doesn't sound exactly what that's like, so I'm going to watch it. So basically, it's really cool because you don't know the interpretation of it. There's this guy just kind of shows up in the Middle East, and he says he's the Messiah, and he's like preaching, and he says he's there in his father's name and stuff. And basically,
This is modern day, right?
But it's modern
Okay.
day. Yeah, it's like right now.
That's cool.
So there's like all the tension between like the Jews and the Palestinians and all stuff like that. And he's basically like amasses this following, and they all say that it's Jesus, like he's returned essentially, and they just call him the Messiah. But like, it's different because not only are like Jews following him, but also the Palestinians are following him, and they all think it's like
Yeah.
him, and but then the CIA is also following him, and they think he's like, they say that they've confirmed like when he was born, and they think it's this guy that's like the head of like a terror cell.
Are they like the Romans?
Well, it's not even, I don't even know how to describe it like that, because like they're investigating him because there's like all these disasters and things happening too. And
Like
but
COVID-19.
that would fit. But it's only one season, and like every time they think they catch him, like they arrest him, and he's in a jail cell, and then he just disappears, and he ends up in like the United States.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so like, and then he's just randomly walking the streets in like Texas, and then he's in DC, and he has all these people that are walking across the country like following him.
So this isn't necessarily a Christian show. It's
No.
kind
No.
of okay.
No, it's
It's
kind
like
of
a what if.
yeah, it's kind of like open
which
to.
is cool.
So they're like, it's kind of open to your interpretation though, because there's like,
Those are my favorite.
it's kind of like some people are like, oh, it's just like this lead terrorist that's trying to amass a cult. Other people say no, it's Jesus. Other people are like, it's the Antichrist.
Yeah.
That's but like you don't
Wow,
know.
that's interesting.
But you don't know, and like everything he says,
Which is what people were thinking back when Jesus was actually on Earth.
for the most part, everything he says is like biblical though, and he's just like super pacifist, peaceful about all of the stuff, and like it's just super interesting.
That's cool.
I was not expecting it at all. I'd recommend it.
I don't think I'd even heard of it before you
Yeah,
told
and
us. It must have gone under the radar.
yeah, it's really cool.
And a second season's being made, you said, right?
I think so.
I think I
last
saw
I
that
last I
somewhere.
heard they were going to make a second season, but at the end of the first season, it just like, I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything in case you want to watch it, but it's kind of like it's
What was that?
someone that
An
do we have
alarm
a
just went
caller?
Oh, we have,
we have our first
my
caller?
sweetie from Denmark calling in. Hey, what's up, girl?
but I would just say like the end of it just kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger, but it's not like a
Yeah.
it's not like a normal one where you're like, I need to know what happens next, and it just cuts you off. It just kind of like puts you in this place where you don't really know what happens and lets you like think about it afterwards, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
where are we at now?
Yeah.
So it's
That's cool.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Maybe it'll be a surprise for me.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Maybe you guys can watch some of these if you want. Obviously, do some research on to make sure they're right for you. But tying into the Messiah, time for our favorite part of all this. We're going to dive into some scripture. Today we're going to go through some James. Logan, Adam is looking at you.
Yeah, sorry, I was out of frame.
Sorry, I just broke the fourth wall, ruined everything. I don't even want me to say anything, but Logan was out of the frame for the Facebook video. So you guys watching on Facebook, you're welcome. Anyway.
Logan just got cut off and he got brought
Sorry,
back.
I was relaxed.
But yeah,
That's
we're
why
gonna.
you don't bring in the office chair.
Yeah, we're in here sitting. Also, we have a new table and a new set. I didn't say that last episode, but this is a new set. We got kicked out of the conference room at our church because people are coming back.
Yeah.
Forgot that happened. But yeah.
Who knew?
Shout out to sound guy Adam for making it everything.
Thanks, church, for ruining our little area.
Yeah. Thanks, church, for ruining everything. But yeah, Adam set all this up. He made this beautiful wall for
Yeah.
people watching on
It's a fake
Facebook.
wall.
You can
It's a
see
fake
the
wall.
the
He
fake
actually
wall.
hand planed the planks and stained them himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually outside,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it looks like we're inside.
Anyway, back to the
Anyways,
Messiah.
yeah.
We're gonna go through some of our favorite verses in James. There's a lot of good stuff in James, obviously. So who wants to kick us off?
I'll take the lead on
Get it,
this one
Sea
if you
Bear,
want.
Mr. Engaged boy. Man, sorry.
I really like that we're talking about James this week because I did a long-term devotional when I was at Cedarville with just a couple guys on James, and James is one of those books that like a lot of times people that aren't Christians will argue that James is kind of against the Bible because like Paul's writings are all like talk about the faith aspect
Yeah.
of our relationship with Christ, and then James kind of goes into the works, and and then it kind of gets people that don't understand it let me clarify.
You got this.
I lost my words.
I know what you're saying. I know what
okay,
you're
but they
saying.
think it gets kind of messy because
Yeah.
they're like, okay, now one person
Yeah.
is saying you're saved by works, and another person is
Yeah.
saying you're saved by faith. So I'm gonna kind of go into one of the verses that I like to read because I think I take James as a guide of where we're at in our faith.
Yeah.
Instead of people thinking, oh, he's just telling you like your works or what saves you, because I think it also clarifies it here. So I'm going to start in James 2:18, and it says, someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith apart from your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. So I think this is cool because he goes on later to talk about how Abraham had faith to offer up his son, but that he completed the work to like represent his faith.
Yeah.
So I
Make it
think
physical.
to
Like,
make it physical.
tangible.
Yeah. So like Paul talks about how having faith in Christ is a life-changing event. I mean, like for him, he literally was blinded in the road, and then his entire life became doing works for Christ. So I think what James is really telling us here, and I think this is a good thing to remind us by, is like when we come to faith in Christ, we're supposed to be new creations. So if you want to sit back and just take like a deeper look upon yourself and your own faith and where you're at, you should start to see the will of God in your life and wanting to do things for Christ because of what he's done for your life. So I like to look at that and say, if people don't know me and they see me do they know that I'm a Christian? Like, do they know about my faith by how I'm acting? And that's kind of how I take this. And I like to read this verse as a reminder of that, just to know, I can show someone my faith. My faith is not dependent on my works, but someone can see my faith because of what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was a good one, Corey.
Thanks.
You can tell you did a long-term study on that. That was good.
I'll just go ahead and do mine if that's
Yeah,
okay.
get it.
Yeah.
Kind of builds off what he's saying. So mine's James chapter 1, verse 22. It says, "Do not merely listen to the word, but and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says."
Amen.
I think that's very true. Like sometimes you can hear something and make your own interpretation of what it says, but you really need to put it into practice. And I think that's very important for us as Christians to not go back to what you said. I don't want people just to see me give lip service to my faith. I
Yeah.
want them to see my actions to speak about who I'm serving. It's just interesting that James is writing all this. He's the brother of Jesus who did not believe in Jesus at the time,
Exactly, yeah.
but after Jesus is dead, he accepts who Jesus was, and he follows him. And so he's saying these words of wisdom, and that's what I love about James is that it's full of wisdom. And so I just love how that says. Let me just read it one more time. "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says."
Yeah, that's great.
And I think if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of times we make our own interpretation of what God's word says instead of really looking at face value and saying, no, I need to follow this out in my life and not think I'm doing a good job, but really put it into practice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's kind of crazy hearing like that verse you just read. It says, "Don't listen to the word," and hearing the word deceive in the same sentence as the word. Like I'm just like, what? And then it like kind of goes into detail on that.
Well, think about how Satan works. He'll use God's word.
Yeah, exactly.
But what does he do with it? He just twists it.
Yeah.
So he'll speak some truth, but it's just little ways that he changes. Like with Adam and Eve, with Eve, he's like, "Oh, you surely won't die." He just twisted enough to just try to get it.
And just like he tested Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he used pieces of scripture and truths about God.
Yeah, call
And-
upon your angels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I totally,
Yeah.
I think like you, it's kind of interesting how it's put like that,
Yeah.
but it makes sense.
makes so much sense,
a
yeah.
lot to me that I need to be putting it into practice. I don't want to be somebody that's just hearing God's word. And that goes back to messages too. The reason why we preach messages and speak on it, or we have teachers teach us or whatever is not just for us to just listen to it. you know?
Yeah.
It's not, it's meant for us to take something away from to hopefully apply to our life.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so here's mine. Mine is James 4:13 through 16-ish.
That's too long.
I'm going to read it anyway. I really like how James writes because sometimes he kind of seems like a savage. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's kind of like abrasive a little bit. I think that's
Yeah,
so
I think
cool.
he's kind of he got some grit to him.
He does.
Yeah.
Like I feel like James is kind of a scary looking guy. I don't know for sure, but I feel like he's the kind of
You'd
like
at least be intimidated.
he's
by it.
yeah. Because I mean, what I'm about to read, there's some things like, oh dang, he just kind of roasted me, but it's so true. And it says it's about boasting about tomorrow, like about your future. So it says, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money. Why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life?" Like just there, I'm like, oh dang, true. "You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogant schemes. All such boasting is evil. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them."
Yeah.
Like snap. Like that's just like a punch in the face. Like like
Oh, snap.
he's hitting those tender spots.
Yeah.
And he's just calling us out and like if you're out here think you're all on your high horse or whatever, like what the crap is your life, man? Like
See,
you're literally nothing. You're just a vapor. You're about to
Uh-huh.
disappear. Like it's meaningless unless you follow God and do what you believe and do what you read and listen to and stuff like that.
I think that's why it's so powerful. It's like you just read the part that most people would read and then elaborate on. He's like what he writes is like the part that most people would like
Yeah.
add on to what someone not add on to, but like that's that's the meaning behind it. He just wrote it straight out.
Yeah,
you
I
know what
know.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, like
That's
he
it.
gets to the point. I just think that's so cool.
Mhm.
Like it's just an awesome verse. And I mean, it's very true. Especially like it's so easy to get caught up in like your future and like in the things that you like physically do, but in reality, it's just meaningless unless you're doing them for God. Like,
Well, tying it into what Corey did,
Mhm.
before he proposed, he was praying about it. I mean, are we allowing God to be a part of our big decisions?
Yeah.
Or even our little decisions?
Mhm.
Are we just going ahead and plan out our life? Or are we allowing God to really work in our life to where that has context, that has meaning, that has purpose
yeah,
for God? Because, like he says, life is a vapor. We're not going to be here forever.
yeah.
Me being a little older than you guys, or quite a bit older than you guys.
Wait, really?
But you start thinking about how quickly life goes and how
Yeah.
it goes by. I don't want to be just known, for being a nerd and loving video games or loving this or loving that. I wanted to be known for something greater, and
Yeah.
that's my faith and relationship with Christ. And so putting your plans aside and saying, God, what's your plan for my life is
Yeah.
very important.
For sure. So yeah, that was mine. I really like James. He's a savage.
mine's short and sweet. So mine's also right.
Just
to the
like
point.
me.
You're short?
No.
Oh.
Can you quit catcalling to the Denmark girl, Ryan?
It's probably just some guy that I know using a VPN.
I would have an artist draw the makeup of what this girl looks like. Get an artist rendering.
Yeah, mine is just, it's powerful. Mine comes out of James chapter 3. I'll read one specific verse here. Look at the ships, though they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. And then this same section talks about how how a horse is directed by the bit in its mouth. And then another example is how a small fire can lead to like such a huge fire. And I'm just going to leave it at this. With the way this world is going today, we really have to just think before we speak.
Oh yeah. For sure.
To think about how all the directions we're going right now in our world has just been by the way people have the way people have brought up things,
Their
spoken
action,
up about
yeah.
things. So just keep in mind how powerful little things like that can be. Those are some great examples.
Look at the angles.
Yep, I'm leaving it
Think
at that.
about other people's thoughts as well, not just yours.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
and I think that to add to that too, that our words have power.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Think about how God created everything with just his words.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that he really did differently was he took his hands and crafted us, or crafted Adam and Eve. But, your words have power. And coming from an abusive home growing up, those words that are real negative and cutthroat, those words can really damage you, and you can carry them with you for years to come. But so watch your words, watch your tongue,
Absolutely.
because you can say things, and I'm sure all of us have been at one point where we've said things we regret to our parents or maybe to a friend. It's why just like you said, it's real wisdom when you start thinking about how can I use my words to create life, to create some encouragement, or
Exactly.
and be careful. We all do it. We all struggle with it. And that's
Yeah.
why he's saying you can't tame it.
Yeah.
You got to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. This is kind of going off on a little bit of a trail, but kind of like what you were saying,
Where we going?
like how we're on an adventure to
Oregon
Instagram.
Trail?
Actually, about to talk about something on Instagram. You were saying how your words have power and wisdom, and I think that right now there's been a lot of with the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff. There's been a lot of people, Christians and non-Christians, that we can really learn from, because so many people are using their platform on social media to really help other people. And
That's
I
the
mean,
small rudder, and that's the small fire.
exactly, yeah. And I think it's so cool seeing that, because even there's a lot of people who aren't even Christians, don't even believe in God, don't even like God, that I feel like are something kind of we can learn from, of how
Well, it goes back to the idea that God created man to be good, right?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
just because they don't know God doesn't mean there hasn't been
I know.
good created in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they don't recognize the
Yeah.
source of that goodness.
yeah, and it's just so cool to see people
Well said.
posting powerful things like that. And we can apply that, and we should apply that form of like that passion to
For sure.
getting other people to believe in Jesus. I mean, right now a lot of people are doing it to fight for black rights and fight for a lot of issues going on there, but we can learn from that and if even use that to.
Well, if I could add something to it,
Yeah.
you know, labeling each other is never a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my concern with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like while we're trying to promote unity, we're also categorizing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's healthy.
Yeah.
I think that labeling us as Christians, it's probably not good for us to have all these labels, because then we get typecast.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. I mean, we're all created by God, and we all have value.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are things that I think that we could be able to express and share. But I do think that we kind of departmentalize. And if you ever heard of Dr. Tony Evans, he's a black minister out of Texas, Dallas, Texas. He does a really good right now media. It's called Oneness. If you ever want to check it out, it talks about unity and races. And he comes and talks about that, about it unifying under one banner. If we can come and recognize that we're unified under Christ, you know. He even used the analogy of like the United States flag at, you know, the Olympics. When you see everybody come together as one, that's when you can really see change happen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we stay separate, and we get. It's just hard, you know. I know it's not an easy answer to this, but I do fear that when we keep labeling things, we just separate ourselves even more.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree, but yeah, I think that like you kind of mentioned the answer, like I don't think that what people are doing right now is like gonna get an answer. Obviously, like the answer is gonna come when the time is right, and it's gonna come from God. So
Yeah.
all right, well,
Wow.
that was a little bit of a rabbit trail, but
No, I like that.
crazy how it all ties together. It's almost like all these scriptures are from the same book.
Well, I would say this about James too, is that if you ever want to read a book about just some really good wisdom, and to me it's almost like bam, 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 bam. If you go through it, the whole thing, a lot of things to think about. A lot of things.
Kind of
to
reminds
take
you of
in.
Proverbs, but like
That's like
condensed and aggressive.
That's like
It's the New
Romans for me.
Testament Proverbs.
Romans is kind of like that too.
Yeah.
And I think James is like, a lot of the Bible talks in like metaphors and is like, think about this. And I think James is like, lays it out. He's like, nope, this is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
saying
don't-
with Ryan a minute ago.
So yeah, there we have it.
We need to do our little special word.
Oh, do we want to do another one of those?
I mean,
We're gonna run out of
are you
prizes.
going to help out? Do you have a prize?
Also, shout out to Tyler Cunningham because he won a few episodes ago.
How about Tyler as our
prize.
special word today?
Yeah, let's make it Tyler.
Tag
Still
Tyler
don't know what the
Cunningham.
gift is going to be, but I guess Tyler, part of his gift was giving him a shout out.
If we ever come up with a mug or something that has Moral Dilemma on it, maybe we'll give
Okay,
that.
wait. I'm going to give Tyler his gift right now. We're going to talk about Tyler for a second. Tyler's such a good drummer.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that real quick? Tyler Cunningham is the drummer at our
I
church.
really wish I could adopt Tyler's double foot pedal techniques and
He's got a good double foot pedal
his
technique.
rudiments, and I love your fire behind the kit, man.
Oh, he's got some fire behind the kit and some fire behind the grill because he's a manager at Chick-fil-A. Best manager I know.
Do they use a grill? Oh, yeah, they have grilled chicken.
I'm telling you, dude.
Where did that come from?
Well, I was just thinking, he said master of the grill. I was like,
Yeah, but no, the other day I was at
thinking it through.
the other day I was
Our
at
chicken mostly deep fried?
I'm sorry,
it's
Tyler. This is
breaded. I don't
supposed to be
think
your
that means
time.
it's deep fried.
Yeah.
not
Most
deep.
of their chicken there is deep fried, right?
Yeah, it's
But
fried
you
chicken.
can get,
Maybe we'll have to have
Chick-fil-A
him on.
sandwiches?
We'll ask him.
Yeah.
That's fried chicken.
yeah, it's deep. Yeah.
Oh.
Just like chicken nuggets, you put it in the fryer.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how
You
it's
bread it
made,
and
but
fry
you
it.
know who does know how it's made?
The
Tyler.
Tyler
and
does.
the Lord. But yeah, so there's your shout out, Tyler. We might get you something else. We might not. Who knows? Who knows what's going on?
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like a Chick-fil-A gift card's fair.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a $5 Chick-fil-A gift
Get
card.
the guy that works there every day.
A free
Chick-fil-A card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you, Tyler, for listening. And yeah, we're gonna make the special word of the day, Tyler. So Tyler might be going through the comments on Facebook and see some random person say his
You
name.
get tagged.
Yeah,
But
tag
if you see
Tyler.
that guy's the winner. But thank you guys so much for listening to another podcast. We love doing these. Hopefully you got something out of this, whether it be a movie or
Update
sorry,
on the
TV show.
Yeah.
Or a song to work out to, or good info on the Xbox or PS5, but hopefully something about the Bible here at the end.
Read the book of James.
Yeah, read the book of James. It's dope. So thank you guys so much. We love you. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Boys and girls.